Hi everyone, watching Channel Effects, in this video I decided to show you guys where I'm planning to place my orders for tomorrow, 16th February, and I decided to explain to you because I can't, it's easier would be than sending you screenshots and explaining to you where I will be looking to place the order. So right now I placed them and I will show you how it needs to be corrected if the market will have some movements during the night Asian session, even though like China has a holiday right now, but we still have other countries, and during the Asian session still could be some movements, and also before the European opening, and you might need to, you know, to change a little bit levels, the order. So right now you see I'm going to place it with my EA, and they are not active. I don't have a description on the screen. I removed it so you can have a bit clear picture, but you know my settings are usual. I have 20 pips. So for example, okay, let's just I'll explain to you now. You see I have $. These are my orders right now. You see I have one order here, it's a level, and another, it's a sell stop. As you can see, it says to do sell stop and buy stop, but it is 20 pips above and 20 pips below. So I have distance and I always have settings, except with some pairs it could be plus the spread. You need to check what the spread you have with your uh, broker, and then you can add spread. Okay, so because euro-dollar has very low spread, that's why I, for example, have only 20 pips. So or 200 points. So you see, like for example, the entry point would be here if it will go up, and it would go into buy, and if it will move 20 pips down, it will go into sell. And so the stops the opposite. For example, the stop for the buy order would be where the buy for the sell. You see here 20 pips would be sell, and at the same time stop for this order if it will trigger and turn around. And the other way around is exactly the same. The stop for the sell would be 20 pips at the entry point for buy. So, and then where the recovery will switch on, and the lot will be increased to cover the loss and make a small profit. So the usual setups I have, and also if we will be in profit, the first 10 pips will be locked in half position profit, and the rest will be run by trading, but the stop loss would be moved into break even. Okay, so guys, these all manipulations are done by EA, so I don't have to do it manually. So, but if you do manually, I just explain to you what it needs to be done. So you see, guys, for example, with in here, I don't think any movements are going to happen. So that's why I presume this area is going to be like this. But I'm going to set up the levels. I'm going to put the times on them. So they will be active before the open of European session. So they're not going to be active during the night for me. Okay, because I'm sleeping at this time, and of course it might have a little bit movements down, a little bit movements up. So you see, if before the EU session, the market is not in this area, if it's a little bit up or a little bit down, then you have to cancel. You will not place the orders because you need to have another look where it is and what is happening. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So these are the areas, and if the market only remains in here, that's when the will be orders are active. So if you, for example, trading manually or something, so I'm going to show you what is the danger here. See, from here, market might only move to the next level. You see, the next level is very close, this area. So that's why I would suggest, if you are in a profitable trade, getting closer to this level, and market moves very, very slow, then move the stop into the break even or with a little profit, okay? So because it might not break that level, it might not have a strength. There will be some news for euro tomorrow, and so that's why quite possibly, you know, with the opening of the European session, it might move a little bit, then it might go down, and then it's European news, it might turn around. So that's why you need to be careful. Or maybe just wait and see where the market is before before those news. Okay. So today was holiday for UK and US, and so that's why there was no movement, as you can see. But the opening of the EU and England London session, it could be jumps. So that's why you need to be worried. You need to be careful if it will have it, like I'm saying again, jump, and then it might come down before those news, and they can turn around. So that's why I try to secure at least a little profit and move it into break-even position. So, and then see before the news where it's going to stop. So that's what I think is easier for me to explain to you than to write it into my screenshot. Okay, guys, so that's the possible entries, and I'm placing those levels. which are not active through the Asian session. And you need to correct if there will be those movements, just like I explained. The same look with pound. It's continued the way up. Also is one of the expectations. Remember, I told you in my weekly analysis that the opening of the market on Monday could be, because of those holidays, either be flat or it might continue exactly the way as it happened on Friday. And it's exactly what happened. On Friday it's moved up and today it's continued up and then it just started to come down. Pound is getting strong because the good positive news about COVID, and they're thinking to unlock UK a little bit earlier than expected, but I think they will be talking about it on the next week, about the possibly full unlock. And this positive news, you see, helping pound. Um, so of course, more would be towards that it will continue the way up and maybe even reach 140. There will be news for pound, but not tomorrow. There will be next day, on Wednesday. So that's why tomorrow it might still have the advantage and go up. There are no news for American dollar, except there will be some comments in the evening, right? In America for FOMC. For me, it will be evening. Anyway, so you need to check the calendar. So just trying to point out, check the economical calendar. If there is nothing else is going on, so that's the area. And so once again, guys, right now it's that area, and if with the opening of the European session, it will stay in this area. This where will be my orders. If the market will move down, you see, then I might have to change the levels. So change my orders. You see, they might not be here. So for example, if the market will go down, and I will be placing, like, for example, a little bit different way. So what I'm going to show you this way. I've showed it before so many times, examples, but still so many people are a bit confused. That's why I'm showing it to you now. You see, for example, if it will go down like this a little bit, then you see I might need to move it like that. And the sell stop depends where it will go. For example, you see it might go down, so that's when that means the stop will be a little bit moved and the buy order will be a little bit moved. Or maybe I will use that level, so it will go down under this area, you see, guys. So that's why I'm just saying to you right now, for example, yes, it has consolidation. It's not bad. It's been all day pretty much, this consolidation after it's moved up. And going to here. So the other danger of this sell could be is that it might move again just a little bit down and then jump and continue the way up. So that's why it's very important, if it will move a little bit, move the stop into a safe position. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say, into break even or with a small profit, just like we had it here. You see, when we had it here, the sell, it moved down a bit. You see, it had a bit of correction and continue, resumed the uptrend. So exactly the same might happen here, go down and then continue the way up. So it's quite possible. This moment is still looking more like it should continue the way up. So that's pretty much it. So that's the orders at this moment. Dollar Canadian, see, also moved down as one of the expectations, but didn't create anything at this moment. And oil went up again. Anytime it might have a correction, and the same, of course, dollar Canadian might have moved. Also, there will be some news for Canadian, but again, not tomorrow. I think the news will be on Thursday. So that's why in here it's pretty much, it might go up a bit, it might will try to break it, but you see I'm not placing any orders because there is nothing here. Right now at this moment it's nothing, and I don't have any possibility to place the orders at that point. You see, we have reached the other previous bottoms. Even though from here you see the market jumped away, but here you see it broke down and then turned. That's why it quite easily can break again and turn around at any point around here. So that's why I would rather wait a little bit longer for this to give us something, okay? Especially if the oil might continue the way up, then you see dollar Canadian might continue the way down easily. So dollar yen, you probably noticed that all the pairs against yen jumped today because Japan had an earthquake on Sunday, and I think that's what had an influence. And you see it jumped because the dollar didn't have any good or strong news today except the bad news for yen. So it actually, see, touched the level, but again, see, I have placed this level, so see, buy and sell. It's a bit risky once again. Why is it risky? Because it could be just a impact of the news, and if the dollar is still weak, I would expect the possible go back down. but still, because there is nothing else going to be tomorrow, not much of the news, it might still have the impact of the bad news and continue the way up, but it might not be strong. You see, guys, it might not be a strong move, and what can happen, it might be stopped by one of those stops, right? So it might just go a little bit up and be stopped 20, who knows, 25, maybe 30 pips, but it could be easily stopped only 20 pips or something, right? Not breaking the stops. I'm not drawing the levels here because we are still right here and nothing is happening at this moment. But that's what I'm saying to you. If you have big enough account, you know, with the smaller lot size, it's not going to be a big difference, right? Not going to make a huge impact if something goes wrong here. But if you only have a small account in real life, for example, only in dollar yen, and then here I would just wait a bit. So that's why here is the at this moment, if it will move again, it might go down a little bit, have a bit of a correction, and then resume the movement. This is not a good channel. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. This is just an area, but if you are following my strategy, for example, then I'm saying for that strategy, for my strategy, this is not good enough. Okay, it's very risky. It's a possibility. We're expecting it a bit of continue and then make a move, but it is not as good, because you see here, for example, it's created a really nice, it didn't create a channel, but it's created nice triple top or head and shoulders pattern that was quite strong and above the level I pointed out. So last time it was good to place the sell order. Right now it's very early, so that's what I'm saying. It's possible to place, but it's very risky. You can get in a bad trade. So I I will see if I'm going to leave them active or not, but I think it probably will be better to do it American session, because it could be, except if opening of London because it was closed, they might have a jump, that's what I'm saying, but the jump might not be strong enough. So that's why if, for example, I will be able to watch it and I see, oh, my yay is going to be switched on, of course, then those 10 pips, I also have a little bit of setup or get a bit smaller, even in a move the stop loss into a smaller move with a very tiny profit if it will move my direction. So that's why, for example, I will not be worried too much. So then I might leave it for the European Open, for London opening in here. So, and of course, if it will jump out from one another area levels, of course I will be not placing the orders. So they will not be active, they're not going to be activated. So going to Australian dollar, I'm not even going to place the orders because you see it did went up also a little bit, but I have here the top and it didn't reach it yet, so that's why I'm waiting for it to reach the top and sit around here somewhere, and it might jump on top, right, create a higher high in here, and then I will be looking at possible entry points. Okay, so right now you see I'm trying to just explain to you what I'm looking at and how I'm thinking. So for example, you might say, okay, it started to consolidate, which is not bad, but you can see how it is situated in this level. So that's why you see using the levels gives a little bit different picture what again can happen. It might move up, you see a little bit 20, take us into the trade, but not be able to give us a profit. So it might jump 30 pips, which we need. Who knows? But because it is an Asian session at night, it's also going to be Australia trading, right? There will be some news for Australian dollar, but it might not be strong enough, and it's also a wider spread at night, and slippage can happen. So that's why I might not get my 10 pips. I don't want to risk it. Okay, so that's why I'm waiting for a bit better position, and for me, that would be better position. So now going to Euro Pound, also not going to do anything. Slowly it's moving down as expected because pound is getting a bit stronger. Maybe the news tomorrow for Euro there will be some movements, but I'm going to leave it. I think it will slide down a bit more, of course, if the pound will go up. But at the same time, you see, maybe it will go up a little bit, so I don't want to go into it. I'm just going to leave it. Pound yen the same. Had an advantage of the yen. Also pound got a bit stronger, right? So you see that's why here my expectation a bit of consolidation, a bit of correction didn't happen because of the news for Japan. See, even it jumped. Had just a really sharp jump, and of course at this moment it might go for correction, but taking all those circumstances, it does look more like it should continue the way up. So that's why you see I have this area once again, but once again it's a little bit um, not as strong, for example, when it was here. You see, right? That was quite strong. And here was a little bit like stronger when I was placing orders in here, because it took a little bit longer time, right? So that's why this is not, we don't see European session yet, so we don't know. Again, it might go a little bit down, who knows, right? So that's why if it will come out from those levels, then they're not going to be good, okay? So, but that's the area, and if they remain inside, so that's where I'm going to be placing my order, where they are already now, but not active yet. Gold is sitting in the area as expected. As expected, you see it went up a little bit, touched this level, then went down and stopped here. You see right now I don't have any orders because the gold is going to open uh, soon, right? And of course, when it's opens, wider spread, and no point to place any orders, okay? We need to wait again for opening of the European session, London, and of course to see if anything will happen during North South American session after. So you see it might have it might jump out from this and go to this level a bit, right? The previous bottom, right? So it can possibly be so. So that's why, guys, you see, if before the European session it will not jump out from this area, I'm going to place my orders buy, and I'm going to place orders sell. I'm actually going to place them after after it will open at night for me, and then I'll place them, but activation will be before the Europe London open. Okay, so, and again, there is nothing is like looking like going to come out. That's why pretty much I would think probably European London session also might be some jumps, and then it should come down before the American session. I think the main move will be happening during the American session, possibly. But at this moment there is nothing really for gold to, it might stuck in here. See guys, it quite easily might get into flat until something comes out, because like I'm saying, I don't see anything coming out in the news. See here, what is what can happen if we jump down from here. You see it might go down something like that, right? And that's why, for example, if it will go here, then I will be using this level to place sell orders, and possibly this level to place buy orders. So we will see, because we need to see how that would be treating this level, because of course it might from here go touch that level and then turn around and fall. So that's why it's a bit tricky area at this moment, because nothing is happening unless something unexpected again. So I'm going to remove this one for now, and to see even, for example, placing the buy orders here, because of the widespread, you see slippage, it might not reach, and it might have slippage and not get me any profits or something. So that's why at this moment I'm removing it, and we'll see where that will go, that movement. So here or go down. So that's pretty much it, guys. A little bit of my overview for you and the ideas of where I will be looking to place my orders, and what to possibly expect from the market. So happy trading everyone, and I see you in my next video. Bye.